strand activated, you're going to channel in or be in communication with what the race did I just say? The seventh dimensional race, the Arcturians. If you have the eighth strand, you're going to bring in Orionic intelligence. Ninth strand, Andromedan. 10th, 11, and 12 strands, which we all have the potential to do. All of us have that original 12-strand silicate matrix, or else you wouldn't be tuning in, I promise you. And there are many, many levels to understand the indigo phenomenon and the continuing saga of whatever you want to call us, mythic, magic, mystical children, psychic, super psychic children, children of the Blue Ray Kachina, the B'nai Or, the B'nai Elohim, yada, 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 you know, yada, yada, yada. That is actually a race, the yadas. So the Anuhazi language, that's the one that's closest to us genetically. So again, the CD plates have always, and the Dora Torah, the 12 plates, and those who could access the information, those who could actually knew the codes to open them up and access the information either directly or remotely, have been coveted by many interstellar races, those that had positive and those with negative intentions, not only for the practical knowledge they contained, but due to their dual purpose in relating to obtaining manual access to the 12 primary stargates of the Universal Templar complex. So again, once again, we've been entrusted with this knowledge. Once again, we're in the back end of an ascension cycle where the vortex that has to close and close properly now is the Russian-Ukrainian vortex. When that one closes, hopefully it will close successfully. Then you have the Peruvian Machu Picchu vortex. We got to be careful about that one because the paired vortex with that one is the Vatican and Rome. That's going to be a challenge. When that one closes successfully, then you have the Giza vortex. And with all this instability in the Middle East, and when that one closes successfully, then you have the Jerusalem vortex that's got to close properly. And when that one closes properly, then you got the one that's in the Painted Desert in Arizona. It's not Sedona. Sedona is a very powerful secondary vortex. And of course, the First Nations people don't want you to know exactly where the epicenter is because they don't want it trashed. They don't want to see garbage lying all along the highway like you do on the way to Sedona, you know, but it's in the Painted Desert in Arizona. So we have all these maps. And so just a little bit, you know.
We have 4 minutes.
Good. So that's the Dora Torah, the angelic humanity's original sacred mission. The divine commission of the angelic human race, the sacred mission for which we were originally seated and repeatedly seated on the planet, is to correct what's called the fire letter sequences, the wave patterns within Earth's grids, what we call the planetary shields that were damaged during the fall from grace, the fall from Tara that we'll talk about 500 million years ago. And this divine commission for which we were originally created and reseated and restated is the Christos realignment mission. The angelic human race was commissioned as guardians of the planetary Christos realignment mission. And the angelic human DNA, our DNA, is designed to carry the correct arrangements of fire letter sequences, of specific configurations, of wave patterns, of scalar waves that correspond to the core program of Earth's planetary grids. And if we're not present on the planet and awake, and do not successfully complete our role, our intended role during these ascension cycles, the planetary grids cannot synthesize the infusion of interdimensional frequencies that were coming in from 2000 to 2017. I don't know how we did it, but we were successful. Given our level of naivete and ignorance and just plain stupidity, God bless us all. You know, and we averted pole shift, but there's still the possibility, the potential for planetary pole shift as we move towards 2042, 2047. When the last of the vortices of the planets close, interestingly enough, the first of them to open are the last to close. This could have been the biblical injunction, will the first be the last. One of these days, and Sheila will talk about this now, what the little changes in the cosmic conversations. So remember, we, all of us, to one extent or another, whether or not you're flame holders, flame keepers, placemakers, we'll talk about that next week, we were commissioned to serve as transducers of this frequency coming in during these stellar activation cycles. We are here to progressively reset within ourselves and the planet the original Christos divine blueprint of the planet. And we do this by doing what we call rainbow roundtables, like King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, like the Circle of the Marys, like Jimmy Twyman's Emissaries of Light. There is so much confirmation of what we as angelic humans are here to do that it just overflows. The cups runneth over with so much confirmation through the years of who we are, what we're here to do. Not only that, how to do it. How to do it.
Thank you so much,
made
Phil.
available to us now.
Yeah. There's so much information, and I am thrilled that you're going to be sharing some of it with the audience throughout the next several weeks. Now, next week, we do have Julia Griffin, who will be on, and I think the following week, Neil Garr will be here joining us. And then Phil will be here with me next week, and we're just going to kind of co-host with Julia, and then the baton is officially passed over to Phil. But I want to thank everyone, over the past 5 years for all your love and support, because it really has meant the world to me. I mean, the amount of support I have received from you guys is absolutely amazing. But as you guys know, I'm a soul exchange walk-in. And recently, I was taken back to my council, and they removed even more veils of my memory. And they reminded me that the mandates that I was given when I entered into the human form. And so we discussed like my pre-incarnation agreement, the council appointments, and a lot of the non-human history. And I mean, it was super, super intense. And then they started talking about cosmic conversations and the Conscious Awakening Network, and how this has been used as a communication hub to send out a very specific vibrational frequency. And so within this holographic node, we now